What's up, 10 Skill Squad? In this box right here is the new, you saw the thumbnail, it's the new Redcat RDS, apparently is what it's called. It's the rear-wheel drive drift chassis from Redcat, and it's $400.
That's MST money.
That is, yeah. In this episode, we are going to unbox this thing and tell you why you probably should save your money and buy something from a reputable company that specializes in drift cars, maybe. Anyway, maybe it's awesome. Maybe it's awesome, dude. Maybe this is the best ready to run drift chassis there's ever been.
It's Redcat. It's possible.
Anything's possible.
If anything Redcat has never done is disappoint us.
Well, there was that one time. The chassis
is completely twisted.
It's twisted. And how many jumps was that? Like 3?
Like 3 or 4.
Anyway, we're gonna unbox this thing, and we're gonna give you the lowdown on it. Ethan, you want to do the honors? You're only allowed to use this boat prop.
Oh, perfect. Oh!
So it is brushless, 3300 kV, sensorless, 60 amp ESC, a drift spec servo, don't know what that means. The Hexfly, which is usually the Redcat branded stuff, their gyro for it as well.
Whoa, look at that fancy.
Oh, it's the magnet.
Oh, I don't know if a boat prop's getting through that. Oh, for crying in the snow.
First impressions, the body, it's not an attractive car, is it?
No, it's not.
It looks like a mashup between Nissans. And it does say Nemo on the back, which isn't Nismo.
No, it's not.
I do like that it has some molded features like the front grille. It does have light buckets, although there's paint inside of this one, I noticed.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there is.
So it has light buckets front and back, which is, I mean, that's cool.
They're also removable. It actually does kind of look like a flake, not paint on it, so
there's paint
might
in
be
it.
able to remove it. Yeah.
And like, what is up with this A-pillar right here? That's kind of funky looking.
Exists to a point. It's very futuristic concept car looking. The rear end looks like an old Mustang mixed with like a 300 ZX or something. You know what? That weird like old Nissan, but yeah, more old Nissan.
We're not a fan of the body, is what we're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can see the motor through the rear window, which is kind of neat, I guess. Although it does illustrate the fact that the power switch was just kind of like, there's good, and they stuck it in there, you know? Like, yeah, that's good enough. The magnetic body mounts are pretty sick. I actually really like that.
Yeah, I like that.
And the bag comes with all sorts of different mounting hardware, so if you put a different body on it, and let's be honest, you're going to want to put a different body on it, you should be able to make it work with, you know, your new body, which is pretty
And to
pretty
be honest,
sick.
Redcat, if you're watching, you do this with the 6.4, please.
They're pretty strong magnets. Like, that is the entire weight of the car. This front splitter feels like it's made out of cheese. Like, it's plastic, but it's like, it's almost like foam plastic. Almost similar to the foam that they put on the top of, like, that they make engine covers.
You ever try to peel off that corner of the piece of cheese off your Big Mac that didn't quite make it
That's
under
it.
there?
That's it, dude. That's what this. That's what this is.
It's kind of what it feels like.
McDonald's as a child is a reward. McDonald's as an adult is a punishment.
Is a punishment. Facts.
The wheels and tires are pretty gross looking. That looks like just about the cheapest wheel and tire combo you could come up with.
Wait a minute. There's no nuts on those.
What? You're right. How is that? Yeah, I don't know. That's
probably
strange.
Just like a little slide over cover, maybe. Yeah.
It looks kind of cool though. The tires feel pretty gosh darn cheap. The carbon fiber chassis looks pretty cool. Everything is adjustable, But the stock setup on this thing is crazy. The front is towed way out.
Really bad.
And the back is towed in. Not by much, or maybe it's just the alignment's off on it quite a bit. And Ethan noticed it has an open differential.
Yeah.
Why in the world would you put an open... Well, I know why they've put an open differential in it, because they're using the same transmission as like a something that's not a drift car. Yeah, the whole rear diffuser, I mean, it looks cool, and I do like that it has a tow hook on it.
Yeah, that is pretty neat.
And the wiring job that they did looks actually really, really nice. The cable management here all looks really, really nice, super fresh, really simple. It looks great. It's good to see that everything is adjustable, because you are going to need to adjust it. And let's not forget, when you buy something like an MST, that MST, they actually run all those cars before they stick them in a box and send it to you. So someone that actually knows what they're doing goes through and sets up the car and actually runs it and makes sure that everything works, everything does. Like, that never happened with this. The steering angle is pretty legit,
yeah, it's actually...
man. Like, there's a lot of steering angle there, and everything clears all the way through the suspension. So let's look at this next to, like, an MST, you know, what the main competitor to this thing. So here is Ethan's MST RMX 2.0, and this thing is just a touch more expensive than the Redcat. And the only thing that you've done to this is some cheap LED lights, magnetic body mounts.
Oh yeah.
And you know, for just a tiny bit more money, you get a licensed body. Obviously, you can get BMW. I have the R34 GTR. There's all kinds of bodies that you can get for them. They are licensed Tamiya bodies. I believe they're all Tamiya bodies. There's the increase in cost right there, just with a licensed body. But is there anything else under here that makes it worth the extra cashola? So under the hood, obviously we have this chassis is all plastic as opposed to carbon fibre. The one thing that I noticed right away is everything in the MST is mounted much further down. The servo is mounted further down. The motor is mounted further down. The ESC is mounted further down. Everything on this thing is really, really flat and laid out. The wheels and tires look a heck of a lot nicer. MST makes some really, really nice wheels and tires for their drift platforms. And you will notice that the suspension or the links on the MST, the links are not adjustable.
No, they are not.
So even if you don't know how to set up a car, it doesn't matter, because these links aren't adjustable anyway. So although you can't adjust them, that also means that you can't screw it up.
The really cool benefit about that gyro is it has 3 different settings in it. And the fact that you can do that and set it up different for even different tracks, different style of drifting is awesome. Here you're just kind of going to turn a couple dials and hope it works for you.
Yeah, this just has like a gain dial, so you just dial in how much of a response you want from the gyro. One of these chassis with one of these gyros might be a good. So there is a look at the inside. The outside, I really do think you're probably better off with an MST, just because that extra money not only gets you a licensed body, but a chassis that you know is going to work out of the box. And if you suck at drifting, it's not because of the car, it's because you just haven't practiced enough yet.
It's practice. practice. Like, it's probably the best advice I have for drifting.
But maybe we're being too hard on it. Maybe we ought to throw a battery in this thing and see what it does. Oh wait, Ethan, this says do not drop into fire.
Oh, well, I guess there goes that idea.
So how do you like the way it drives, Ethan?
I don't.
Yeah.
I'd be honest with you, it didn't feel like anything better than what we have already.
It's a lot different than the MST.
Yeah.
We did notice a couple issues. The biggest one, reverse. Reverse just is super duper finicky.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a pain in the butt. And now it doesn't want to go into reverse.
Light input. Like it seemed like I had to go real slow into it.
There we go. Jesus. Again, really light input. Okay, all right. That's weird, dude. The other thing that I noticed was the chassis itself is actually really fast. Like it actually feels like it wants to hook up and go straight, and you have to give it all the brakes to unsettle the back end. But then you don't know, you're not steering with the throttle then. You hit the brakes and turn the wheel, and you don't know how much it's going to step out. Maybe it's going to be perfect and the gyro will catch it. Maybe it will be way too much and any throttle input is going to spin the whole thing. So it's a little unpredictable. That being said, when you're going for like long sweepers, it actually drives really nice. I liked the way that it would go fast around long sweepers, but any sort of precision cornering.
Yeah, I think that leads back to the open diff. It does everything that an open diff would want to do if you were trying to go fast on a track.
Yeah, it's not nearly as precise and laser focused as like the RMX or the RMS. But I'd say that there is definitely potential. The reverse thing, obviously, we can address with a new transmitter and receiver that will allow us to dial in some exponential when it comes to the steering anyway.
Yeah, the toe, I don't know if it has anything with the toe being off, but it 100% drifts better one way than the other.
Yes.
It really does. And I don't know if it had anything to do with that funky thing in the steering you were showing earlier, but
yeah. All right, so we just got everything plugged in on the Redcat, but check this out. You see how the steering is pretty fast, but then it slows down at the end? Like, what?
I don't get what's going on there.
What is happening there? And it's just when you steer to the right. Like, left is fine, but then you steer right, and it's like it's very slow to react. It seems pretty durable. Our front splitter has a couple little gouges in it, but, that's whatever. It's to be expected, really.
We didn't use the West open space for this.
No. And I think that it is a good platform to improve upon. It seems weird because it seems like this is marketed toward beginners, but if you're a beginner, why would you not want something that's already set up to go to really drift well? Why would you want something that's like really a high-speed drifter? It's really fun to drive. Like, I really enjoy driving it. We didn't adjust anything on this thing. This is just completely right out of the box. So, if you're a beginner, this is exactly what you would expect. Yeah, by the time you put a transmitter, receiver, a better gyro, wheels and tires for sure. Yeah. I mean, you're going to be well over the price of this thing, which, I just don't see why you would do that. But that's something that we should do. What do you guys think? Should we modify this thing? Should we spend the money on it and make it perform as good as like an MST RMX? Put a body on it. What do you think? And if we put a new body on it, what body should we put on it? We've got some ideas, but we want to know what you think. What would you guys want to see for a body on this thing? Leave it down below, and let me know what you think. Do you have one of these? Were you thinking about getting one of these? What do you think now? Are you glad you watched this video before you spent $400 on one?
Yeah, you might be. Or we might be fools. And
we're 100% fools. Anyways, that's going to do it for this one, guys. If this is your first time checking out the channel, welcome. I'm glad you found it. We like to do RC shenanigans like this all the time. We've got some wicked stuff coming up, especially if you want to go drifting on a budget. So you're going to want to stick around. All right, guys, until next time.
Oh, that was bad.
Chopping Redcats.
Yeah.
Chopping them.